Welcome to the 2022 App State Preseason Football Media Day. Thank you everyone for joining us here in person and also on Facebook Live. We'll have head coach Shawn Clark shortly to give us an opening statement and then take questions from media. App State football players arrive at camp today and practice starts tomorrow in preparation for September 3rd season opener against North Carolina. Head coach Shawn Clark.
Good to see you guys. Some familiar faces here, some not so familiar faces, but I hope you guys report better than you do cornhole because some of you guys are damn terrible in cornhole out there. Okay, so, again, appreciate you guys coming here today. It's an exciting day for App State and App State football as we report for the 2022 season. A lot of things to be excited for. We've had a great spring, a great off season. Our guys are prepared, they're ready, so we're ready to get started. And our report today at 2 o'clock, and we'll have meetings tonight, and our first practice tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
David Ware with 24/7 Sports. Shawn, every transition from one team to another has significant change, but you went through a particularly large group of graduating seniors and super seniors that went out of the program last year. That means you've got a lot of new voices with opportunities to kind of take over those roles going into this season. How have you seen those things developing during the off-season summer workouts?
Well, we did lose a lot of six-year seniors last year, and that's just the fruition of college football. And but we have a lot of players coming back with a lot of experience. We returned 11 starters. 9 of those were all-conference players, and to see the leadership come through and the guys that we always know are leaders. I go back to Cooper Hodges on offense. He's been a great leader for us. Chase Bryce, Cam Peoples has done an outstanding job this year in the offseason on defense. I think Jordan Earl's done an outstanding job. Stephen Jones, Nick Hampton. And that's exciting to see, guys that really want to take charge of the program and put their stamp on it. And, again, I can't commend them enough. Brad's done an unbelievable job in the weight room with them, and I believe we're in shape. We've gotten stronger, we've gotten bigger and faster, and but this is why you practice for September 3rd, and I think it's preparation. When that pairs with performance, that's when you're going to find out what kind of team we have.
As part of the roster building in the offseason as well, obviously the transfer portal has really significantly changed the landscape of college football. You guys brought in some new players there. There were some impactful guys that came in last year as well. What would you say you've kind of maybe learned over the last year about the best way to gauge transfers as they might fit your program, and then helping them integrate into what App State's culture is?
Well, I think it's ever changing with the transfer portal, and it's going to get probably crazier as it goes along. But I think the first thing we do is we contact the head coach of their institution, and to make sure that what kind of person they are, if they would fit our culture, and what kind of work ethic they have. I know we signed 8 from the transfer portal this year. It's probably more than we'll ever do here at App on a given year, but not knowing what was going to happen last year. So we saved 5 scholarships, and we've had some guys exit the program, and we're able to sign 8 to give us a chance to win this year. So, but again, I think the biggest thing is do your homework on the players. We don't want no one to come in here that's going to change the locker room. Our culture's been here for a long time. We want to make sure we're consistent with that. And I think our coaches did an outstanding job of really defining what we wanted, who we wanted. We went after them and got them.
And as you open camp tomorrow officially, maybe offense to defense, and throw special teams in there too, because there's some turnover in that phase as well. What are some of the things you're prioritizing that you feel are most significant as you kick off camp and then work through August?
I think the biggest thing is we have to find out early who our playmakers are going to be. And I think both coordinators, Coach Jones and Coach Barbay, I even put Coach Haynes in that situation, special teams coordinator, that you can work with your players 2 hours a week in the summertime, and you can meet with them also. So we've been with our players, and we have to find out who's going to give us the best chance to win. And we'll get through that pretty quick, and then we'll get moving on to North Carolina. But the biggest thing for us for the first 6 days is to get our base offense, base defense, and base special teams in the game plan.
Alex Johnson, Black and Gold Podcast. Coach, thanks for speaking Marshall into the Sun Belt. Speaking that to existence last year, specifically, how has the realignment of the Sun Belt impacted recruiting?
Well, hopefully I can get on your show one day. But no, it's the new Sun Belt. I'm excited about it. It's something that we've talked about as a conference. I know we were in the Sun Belt meetings last week, And there's a buzz in the air about it. And, with the conference realignments, I think the Sun Belt is in the best position right now of anyone in the country because we have regional rivalries. We have institutions that have the like-minded, that believe in education and championships. I think it's going to be good for our athletic department. We've announced 2 sellouts already here. I do believe in the near future we'll have more. But anytime our fan base can drive, 4 hours to Huntington, West Virginia, 4 hours to James Madison, 4.5 to Old Dominion, I mean, that's good for everyone. It's good for college football. I wish we did more of it. I wish our non-conference was all in-state. I think that's great for our state. It's great for the landscape of college football. So we're very excited about it.
David Jackson, Avery Hall sidekick. If you've been at this COVID year thing for a couple of years now, have you been able to assess what the benefit is to having that extra year available to people while also knowing that that keeps somebody from becoming the next household name? Have you figured out the right way to balance that, and do you feel like it's been a benefit to you to have the extra year versus letting the natural progression of the next crop of superstars to come up as they would have 3 years ago?
You speak COVID, I want to cringe, but no, we're still trying to figure it out, David. It's the NCAA last year allowed us to have anyone we want on a scholarship as long as the athletic department paid for it, and now we're back to 85, and now the head coach has to make tough decisions, and that's not easy to do when a kid's been in your program for 5 years, and he's worked his tail off, has got his college degree and wants to come back, but you have to get your roster back to 85. In some instances, it's been helpful for us. You look at guys from last year that came back for their 6th season. And I think there's pluses and minuses to it both, but it put the head coach in a tough predicament to make those calls that really aren't fair. The kid did nothing wrong, but that's just the nature of the beast, and you have to make those decisions.
So along those lines, do you feel like there's an extra eagerness for those kids that maybe were blocked by somebody that came back last year, that were ready to put their stamp on it, put their name out there, that they're now in that spotlight?
In my opinion, the receiver room would be that position because, we had 4 receivers who were picked up in the National Football League, and they were great players for our program. They all graduated, and you look at Christian Horns of the world, the Christian Wells, Deshaun Davis. Those guys aren't young guys, but they never had their opportunity to shine. They've always been a backup, and now they want to be the old guys now. They want to be the playmakers on our team, and we've seen that through spring practice. We've seen that through summer workouts. That now there's some names you haven't really heard much: Caden Robinson, Dalton Stroman, Tyler Page, a transfer from SMU. So I think there's those guys want to be the face of the program and know this is their time right now.
Coach, this is Patrick McCormick from the Watauga Democrat. How more comfortable are you going into this season with Chase Brice going into his 2nd season here at Appalachian? Kind of got a year under his belt, maybe got the first season jitters out, et cetera.
Well, anytime you have a returning quarterback that threw for over 3,000 yards and set a single season record for our program, that makes you sleep well at night. Now we have to make sure we develop a backup for him. But again, having Chase back is exciting. I know he has worked his tail off this summer. He's put extra time in with the receivers on his own time, and Chase is a winner, and he's demonstrated that last year and through the offseason, and we're glad he's on our football team because I think the best is yet to come.
Perfect, thank you. And one more question. My readership definitely is going to be very concerned about the local players from Watauga County. So Carter Everett, Orlando Leon, Jackson Green, Anderson Castle. Do you have any hopes for them making positions on the roster, even if it's special teams, even not starting offense or defense?
If they're the best players, they're going to play. It doesn't matter if you're from Watauga or Ash or Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Our best players are going to play. But Anderson Castle has been in this program for a long time. Jackson Green's been in this program for a long time, and that's a deep running back room. And Anderson can play anywhere in our conference. And Jackson's did an unbelievable job. He reminds me of his dad in so many ways. He's in the right spot at the right time. He's the quiet kid that works his tail off, and no one really knows his name, but he keeps making plays. And the freshmen, we'll see as it goes. I don't put too much stock in it until we put pads on.
Understood. Thank you.
Hey, Coach, Adam Witten with the radio broadcast. Do you feel as though you've evolved as a person, as a coach, as a professional going into year 3? Do you approach the job any differently as a head coach from the way it started, albeit in the middle of a pandemic? But year 1 to year 3 as a head coach, do you approach things any differently, and how have you grown?
Well, I've grown a lot, mostly in the belly. It's definitely different in year 3. You come out of a COVID year, I'm not sure it can get any harder than it did. Then last year, you go 10-2 in the regular season and stumble in the championship game and the bowl game. But year 3, you kind of see your plan working now, and you have the right people in the building. And for me, you're never comfortable because again, you come to Appalachian State to get a world-class degree and play for championships, and anything less than that's a failure. So it's not pressure to win. I think that's what we were built for here at Appalachian State in this program. Every player that's came through has been built for this moment. And again, it's an exciting time of year. We have great players. They're fun to be around. But in saying that, probably the biggest thing I've done in the offseason is try to spend more time with our players on a one-on-one basis and get to know them more personable. And that's been good for me. It's been good for my family, and hopefully it pays dividends this year.
Coach Brett Strelo.
Who are
how
you
would you?
with?
I'm the cornhole officiant for today.
Okay.
How would you evaluate just the staff chemistry, how that's developed? Where in the spring you had some guys come in right when you were in the heart of that to have a little time to kind of work together heading into the start of fall camp.
Well, anytime you have success, you're going to have turnover, especially at Appalachian State. Our coaches are a high priority in our profession when you talk to people around the country. But we lose 3 coaches, and that's the opportunity for me and our staff and our team to grow. We brought in Kevin Barbay from Central Michigan. He's been outstanding, just the way he runs the offense, the way he has everyone be involved. I think that's been good for us. Defense, we didn't lose anybody on defense, and special teams, Coach Haynes is doing that. But it's I'm excited for it. I mean, I can't understand tell you what we're looking for or we're not, but we have turnover, and that can be a good thing. It's been good for me. It's helped me reevaluate the way I go about things when I talk to them on a one-on-one basis, all 3 phases, and we'll find out tomorrow afternoon.
Is there a different way you evaluate some of whether they're inexperienced, younger guys, newcomers, and what you're looking at in the spring compared to maybe what you'll be looking at early in August from that group?
Well, in the spring, you want to get good at your fundamentals. We didn't put much in on the either side of the ball. It was more base fundamentals. And, football is really an easy game. It's about blocking, tackling, and catching the football. And we kind of overcomplicate it sometimes. But we work on fundamentals in the spring and the off season. Now we're really getting into the nuts and bolts of our offense and defense and special teams, and who can pick it up the fastest, who can perform. Again, this is a performance-based profession, and I mentioned this earlier. I think when performance is at a high level, you have a chance to be good, and that's what probably excites me most of this fall camp is to watch those guys, how hard they've worked through the off season to watch them grow and become great players and playmakers for App State.
Hey, Coach. Cameron Burnett with the Appalachian. I think something that's really interesting coming into this year is a large majority of this team now is guys who are recruited by you and your staff. Do you feel like that's changed the way you look at the team at all and work with them on an everyday basis?
No, I don't think that's changed, and this is year 3, so there's still some carryover from other coaches. But to me, it's once you're an App State Mountaineer, it doesn't matter who the head coach is. I think the program, the culture we have, kind of molds our guys the way we want them. And but again, there's not really my guys. This is App State. No one's bigger than the program, not me, not anyone in this building. It's about the program. So everything we do this season will be about the program.
And then another thing, looking at the quarterback position, as you're talking about trying to build a backup, is there a name that really pops out to you right now? Of course, there's like a mix, like when you brought in Chase Bryce, like a guy like Brady McBride, where the transfer portal, you get an experienced guy while you're also working in freshmen and sophomores at the position.
Right. Well, with the turnover we had at head coach for those 2 years in a row, we lost quarterbacks that were committed to us and went other places. But I think that room is something we have to improve on, the depth in that room. I wouldn't say the talent, but the depth. I mean, we need at least 2 more in that building, in that room, as soon as we can. But we brought in Brady McBride, who gave us some kind of experience. He's played at Memphis. He's played at Texas State. We played against him. We know what kind of playmaker he is. He gives a different dimension on offense. And at the same time, we can really develop DC and Ryan Berger. Those two fought it out during the spring of who would be the backup or the third quarterback. We're not sure yet. And Brady hasn't had his chance yet. So we'll mix it up in fall camp. But Chase Bryce is number one quarterback going to fall camp, and we're looking for that backup. And we have to find that very quick.
And then last question, of course, I have no doubt that you're excited for September 3rd. Obviously, there's enough bad blood a little bit between the two fan bases. Of course, it's an in-state rivalry. How are you feeling as that's about a month away from now?
Who are we playing? No, it's people say bad blood. There's no bad blood with myself or coach down there. Coach Brown, he coached here. He knows what it's about here on the mountain. And when I got the head coach, he was one of the first people I called, and he was very cordial to me and gave me different ideas. And we're not looking for the first game right now. We're trying to get through the first day. So we'll work on us for the first 2.5 weeks, and then we'll get North Carolina. So that's it. I know our fans are excited about it. Their fans, our fans. It's going to be great for college football. But for the next 2.5, 3 weeks, it's about App State and our style of football. Thank you.